Qin Luo, who couldn't find a job after graduating from college, accidentally awakened to a system called Journey to the Holy Learning. Learn from our ancestors and inherit traditional artistic abilities. Zhang, a clay figurine making colored sculptures. The style of repairing a palace is Thunder, the monk from Jinsha Temple who makes purple clay pots. Wang Shuyuan, who made micro-sculptures in The Story of the Nuclear Boat. Sword master Zhang Yaju, accompanied by various masters. Qin and Luo inherited traditional culture and pushed the nation to the world. Keywords of the novel. Craftsman. I am the ultimate master of the past, no pop-ups. Craftsman. I am the ultimate master of the past, complete download of the TXT. Craftsman. I am the latest chapter of the ultimate master of the past. Chapter 1. Return to hometown. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Return to hometown. When I left home at a young age and returned to my hometown, my accent changed. I also grew up to be more handsome. Qin Luo drove a domestically produced pickup truck and Great Wall cannon on a rural road, with the windows wide open and the refreshing wind blowing, making him feel extra comfortable. After graduating from college, I wandered around the big city for 3 years, worked overtime and stayed up countless times, until I suffered from hair loss and kidney deficiency. Recently, I fainted during the night shift and almost didn't wake up. The company chose to voluntarily terminate the contract, but instead voluntarily lost money, fearing that he might have some accidents again. Qin Luo did not entangle either. One reason is that the money was in place and a compensation of 2N was paid. Secondly, I am also really worried about my work intensity. If I really want to give up, who can I argue with? 3 times, after fainting and waking up, I found that there was an extra system in my mind. To the holy learning system. In this system, there are all masters of craftsmanship from history with extremely exquisite techniques. I have already completed the beginner task myself. Sugar Man, blow out 3 stars of happiness, wealth, and longevity with a sugar man. This is almost a top difficulty sugar figurine technique, which requires extremely delicate force control to shape the sticky sugar juice into a lifelike shape within a limited space. It cannot be light or heavy at all. In the static system space of time, I was taught by a master and patiently practiced for 5 years before finally learning. Then it will be displayed in the real world. Therefore, receive a reward of 100,000 yuan from the system. The next system task has also been initiated. Build a classic Huizhou-style courtyard in Chinese-style. Hui-style architecture is one of the important schools of Chinese traditional architecture, which combines the essence of traditional customs and culture. It has unique style, rigorous structure, exquisite carving and distinctive local characteristics. The reward for this task is 1 million. Because after successfully completing the previous task, Qin Luo did not hesitate to take on the system reward. Just such a task is obviously impossible to complete in a big city where every inch of land is precious. So he decided to go home. My hometown has homestead land. My parents used to work in a different city when they were young, but unfortunately passed away in a car accident. Now, there is only my grandfather in my hometown, and my health is relatively strong. I rely on sending money every month to make a living. In addition, there is an uncle who served as a soldier in his youth and is now the village chief. The village chief is not considered an official. My hometown Jinjiang village is located in a remote area, far from the city, and has almost no economic value. A large number of young people are going out to work, and the village is declining day by day. The village, which used to have over 1,000 people, is now almost all old, weak, sick, and disabled, with almost no signs of youth. Farming is really too difficult. I don't make any money. Moreover, children have to go to school, elderly people have to seek medical treatment, and the village is inconvenient. Those with better conditions have to enter the city, while those with slightly worse conditions have to settle in the town. Hey! Thinking about these, Qin Luo couldn't help but sigh slightly. I used to think that this was my hometown that I couldn't go back to. But now, I have come back. In fact, returning home has already formed a significant trend among many young people. Although the basic hardware of the village is relatively poor, such as schools, hospitals, supermarkets, and shopping malls, there is still a basic water and electricity network. Whether it's doing live streaming, farming, or agriculture, it's all a way to make money. Even if it's lying flat. Doing some reliable part-time jobs online, costing over 1,000 yuan a month, is enough to support oneself. For those who enjoy prosperity, it is loneliness and desolation. But for someone like myself who loves quietness, that's leisure. Plus. The system. Qin Luo is still looking forward to the upcoming rural life. Learn the technology of building a house from the system. I currently have around 200,000 yuan in funds, which should be around the same amount. The entire construction process can also be filmed as short videos or live broadcasts, which can bring some revenue. What if it gets hot? After the house is built, the system's bonus will be actually credited to the account. Think about it, it's quite good. The car was driving slowly, passing by a pond surrounded by iron mesh. Through the mesh, Qin Luo saw a faint familiar figure. A man in his 40s, tall in stature, with a dark complexion. He was fishing, smoking a cigarette, exhaling smoke for a long time, and then taking a sip of tea from a large kettle, looking very comfortable. Uncle. Qin Luo recognized it, braked, and shouted. This is my uncle Qin Jianjun. Qin Jianjun heard someone calling him, put down the fishing rod, stood up and looked towards the road. Through the open car window, he saw Qin Luo, and his dark face suddenly showed surprise, with wrinkles on his eyebrows rippling with a smile. Xiao Luo, have you come back? I bought a car. He walked towards this side, clutching the iron fence and chatting with Qin Luo. Uncle, you're not working at the village committee. You're sneaking out to fish. Qin Luo laughed and joked. Uncle is a person with a very good temper. Since I can remember, I haven't seen him get angry. For my grandfather, he is also very filial, offering delicious food. The two of them often ride motorcycles and run to the town to dance square dances with the old ladies and aunties. Uncle married a wife when he was young and quite beautiful, but he never had children. After going to the hospital for a long time, it was finally found that it was Uncle's own problem. I originally wanted to adopt a child, but he refused to do such a thing. He felt that spending money to buy a child was against his principles and lacked party spirit. He argued with his wife for a long time about this, and later she also ran away. He went out to look for it a few times, but couldn't find it back. His mind gradually faded and he was always alone. Since childhood, I have looked up to my own son quite a bit. After his parents passed away unexpectedly, he provided for his own college education. After starting work, I also sent back half of my monthly salary. The reason why I worked so hard before was also due to this factor. The company paid overtime pay to earn more, and my uncle and grandfather were in their hometown, so they could be more carefree. Ha ha ha. There's nothing wrong with the village. I came out to fish and just caught 2 big ones. Wait for me a moment, I'll tidy up and take your car back. I'll cook something delicious for you at noon. Qin Jianjun smiled heartily and immediately turned around to pack his things. After explaining to the owner of the fish pond, he came over with something and got on the car. Run all the way home. The uncle quickly killed the fish and went to the vegetable garden behind the house to pick some fresh vegetables. He also took off the hanging piece of cured meat and cooked in the kitchen. The fragrance quickly drifted into the yard. Qin Luo and his grandfather each had a plastic stool, sitting in the yard chatting. Qin Luo lit a cigarette for him and watched the old man click on it. Suddenly, his dentures fell off. The old man picked them up, wiped them, and then put them back in place, chuckling. The old Qin family seems to have this family tradition, they are all born optimists. Sir, I have something to tell you. Qin Luo smiled and said. Grandpa smiled and asked, say it. Qin Luo. I want to rob our house. What? The old man was stunned, his mouth wide open in shock, and his dentures fell out again. Your turtle grandson is very bad. He hasn't come back for over a year, and as soon as he comes back, he's going to rob the house. Why don't you go to heaven? End of this chapter. Chapter 2. 10 Years of Studying Architecture. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2, 10 Years of Studying Architecture, Stealing a House. Well, I'll give you a pout. You go dig up the ancestral tomb of the old Qin family too. As soon as Grandpa spoke, he was an old man of yin and yang, with 2 gray-white eyebrows raised and lowered, very pleased. Qin Luo couldn't help but burst out laughing. Did you dig and rebuild one? This house is old, and I'm planning to marry a wife in the village. Can't I build a new house? Qin Luo had already figured out a reason. This indeed hit the old man's pulse, and as soon as he heard about marrying a wife, his cloudy eyes lit up. When I used to work in Pengcheng, my grandfather would remind me every time I called. Help me up. Qin Luo helped his grandfather up from the plastic stool, feeling a bit puzzled for a moment. What was he doing? I saw the old man hurriedly walking towards the house, his footsteps seemed much lighter. When he entered the bedroom, he quickly found a camphor wood box. Inside was a passbook, 2 bank cards, some money, a gold necklace, and a yellow jade bracelet. Peel off. I'll pick it tomorrow. Xiao Jun. Who is that, Haiwa? Are you driving excavators and forklifts? Call him over for a drink tonight. Who else is that? What's his name? That one is short and chubby, with a refined gas cylinder. De Gong, come over and shout. Qin Luo. TSK, this old man speaks so badly. What is gas tank refining? Are you still carrying someone who buries people like this? Uncle Qin Jianjun, wearing an apron, hurriedly ran out of the kitchen. Just now, he had a vague idea, but didn't listen at all. Now when asked, a look of embarrassment immediately appeared on his face. Dad, this. Can't we just do some soft decoration? How much money have you saved, Xiaoluo? Why don't you go to the county town to buy a house? Our village has a house, and other girls don't want to marry either. Rural houses are of no value in the marriage market. This is enough to fool Grandpa. Uncle still has a clear idea in his mind. To get married, one must have a house in the city. At least it must be a county town. Qin Luo smiled and had already figured out a solution. Uncle, you're not sure. I built this house not only for our family's living, but also as a homestay, inn, and the beautiful mountains and rivers in our village. As long as we promote it, a large number of city people will come to travel, and then it will be a family business. When I make money, I will marry you as well. Qin Jianjun. Homestays. An inn. He had some knowledge about it, but didn't expect Qin Luo to do this. How much money have you saved? He asked with a slight interest for a moment. About 200,000 yuan. If it doesn't work, we can borrow some more, at least another 100,000. Qin Luo is talking about credit cards, Huabei, and micro loans. Anyway, as long as the house is built, the system rewards will be credited. Enough, enough. Grandpa quickly said. Kicking at the uncle, he said, you're so cowardly. I'm afraid of wolves in the front and tigers in the back. What can I do? My great-grandson has studied at a prestigious university, doesn't he know more than you do? Qin Jianjun. Dad has already spoken up, so it's not possible, we can only agree. This matter is settled like this. At night. Uncle called out a group of people to come and have a drink. As a village chief, I still have this kind of network. Besides, building a house requires manual labor, and it's not about not giving money. There are big workers, carpenters, excavators and forklifts, and decorators here. Everyone is working together, very ready to go. Busy and busy. Late at night. Qin Luo lay in bed, his consciousness sinking into the system space. Strictly speaking, one's own homestead has two plots, which are still adjacent. The two-story building I am currently living in has a courtyard, which is my uncle's homestead. Behind this courtyard, there is an already dilapidated small courtyard that my grandfather used to live in. I already asked during the meal earlier, and the total comes to 300 square meters. TSK. If placed in Pengcheng, it would be worth at least tens of millions. Unfortunately, in rural areas, it's not worth it. With a sigh of emotion, Qin Luo quickly began preparing to learn techniques and create blueprints. I am already very familiar with the system space. This system is called Journey to Holy Learning. The biggest role is to learn face-to-face with the masters of craftsmanship in history. When learning Sugar Man on my own, my teacher was the most famous Sugar Man artist in Tianjin way before. Now, the second system task falls on Huizhou style architecture, with a wide range of fields, but there are also famous teachers. It's the one standing in front of me in the system space. Like a real person. Qin Luo's background on Baidu is already terrifying. Yi Tai, with the courtesy name Jiushen, was a representative figure of Huizhou architecture in the Qin dynasty. He was also a famous master of geomancy. He wrote the Complete Book of Mountain Laws, consisting of 19 volumes, which was included in the Complete Book of Four Treasuries. This is a classic compiled by the royal family. To this day, in the geographical boundaries of Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, Yi Jiushen is still revered as Earth Saint. Not to mention his elderly family, he is just a disciple and a grandson, many of whom are social celebrities. With this level of expertise, designing a rural courtyard is effortless. Master Yi. Qin Luo respectfully called out. Learn first, use later. My profession can be completed in 10 years. Yi Jiushen said with almost no emotion. Qin Luo also asked, where do these people in the system come from? The response of the system is that anyone who has existed in history has traces of time and space, and the system space gathers the heroic souls of masters of ancient and modern craftsmanship, without human ties, only pure craftsmanship. After feeling magical, Qin Luo quickly accepted this setting. Just treat it as artificial intelligence. Huizhou-style architecture. The folk houses, ancestral temples and memorial archway are the most typical, which are praised as the three wonders of ancient architecture by later generations. Hui-style dwellings, facing south from north, pay attention to internal lighting, use wooden beams to bear the load, use brick, stone and soil to build retaining walls, take the main room as the center, and are good at carved beams and painted rafters and decorative roofs. Especially in terms of shape and color, the aesthetic is very strong. The typical style is. The wall lines are arranged in a neat and orderly manner, with horse heads raised at corners, black tiles and white walls, and elegant and generous colors. There are still many that remain, and when passing by on the road, you will find them beautiful and distinctive at a glance. Qin Luo University is not studying architecture. I am studying graphic design and have a considerable foundation in hand drawing. The most important ability for college students is continuous learning, and with the guidance of renowned teachers, they can be patient and immediately focus on learning in the system space. Quan Dang has taken another elective course. I also learned how to work as a sugarman before. This is all a craft. It can support the family. Qin Luo studied exceptionally seriously, completely forgetting the passage of time. Originally, system space and time were relatively stationary. By the time his consciousness returned to reality, Qin Luo had already fully mastered all the design techniques of Huizhou architecture. Even for Kanyu, there is a considerable theoretical foundation. However, I have not traveled across the world and have not yet accumulated practical experience. Perhaps due to his expertise in art and design, Qin Luo excelled in the 3 carving techniques of Huizhou-style residential buildings. 3 carvings refer to blue brick door covers, stone-carved windows, wooden carved pillars. This is the essence of Hui-style residential buildings. Exquisite carvings are integrated with buildings and are as beautiful as poetry. High-quality Huizhou-style residential buildings, upon entering and admiring, are like artworks, showcasing craftsmanship and aesthetics everywhere. With the support of 10 years of systematic learning skills, Qin Luo skillfully drew design drawings on his own computer, and then fell asleep. The next morning, I was awakened by the bouncing sound of the tractor engine. Open the curtains on the 2nd floor and take a look. Outside, Grandpa and Uncle are already busy. Qin Luo quickly put on his clothes, put on his backpack, and hurried downstairs. Go ahead. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Starting from house picking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Starting from house picking. I went downstairs. Uncle and Grandpa are carrying various soft items. This small building was built about 30 years ago and is now very dilapidated. The bricks used in the past were all green bricks, and the floor was paved with green bricks without even laying a layer of cement, let alone tiling. In recent years, my family has never had much spare money and has not been repaired much. It's okay to be able to provide shelter from the wind and rain, without paying too much attention. Qin Luo took out his phone and tripod, checked the network signal, found it full, and then opened the live broadcast room. Returning to the village to build a Chinese Huizhou-style courtyard, on the first day, dig up the house. He took the title and found the best angle to focus the camera on the old house. The name of my account is Craftsman Qin Luo. Well, I only registered after awakening the system. Previously, there was a live broadcast of Sugar Blowing Man, which attracted some fan attention, but not many, only over 2,000 people. Take it slow. Qin Luo is not in a hurry either. Anyway, there's no need to put in any effort. How much can you earn? Qin Luo was already calm and patient in his work. When I used to work in the company, I used to sit all morning, all afternoon, and all night without moving my buttocks, otherwise I wouldn't feel tired and faint. I have honed my skills in the system space and have learned sugar figurines and Huizhou architecture separately. With over a decade of accumulation, my patience has improved. Qin Luo's life motto is the sentence of Zhang Guofan. Man without perseverance achieves nothing in life. The live broadcast room is gradually becoming popular. From a few, to a dozen, dozens. Someone came in. Someone left. Someone commented. But Qin Luo didn't look at his phone either, he just helped his grandfather and uncle carry things. The temporary residence was already booked last night. Harvest the wool from the village. The village committee used to be with the primary school. A few years ago, the primary school was abolished, but now the classrooms and teacher dormitories are empty, just to make do with it for a while. There aren't many soft and electrical appliances at home, so after pulling a few cars, I almost finished. Qin Luo's clothes were dirty and sweaty. He washed his hands at the faucet and went over to check his phone screen. There are only a dozen or so viewers. In the morning, there aren't many people. However, a few comments have emerged. Oh. The anchor really made a fool of himself. In order to live stream, everyone has to dig houses. Where's the anchor's hometown? It looks a bit familiar to me, I came in from the same city. Big brother, do you want to hire a laborer? With great strength, you can earn 150 a day. I don't want to go to the factory to tighten screws anymore. Qin Luo watched, smiled, and switched the camera back to focus on himself. Brothers, please pay attention and see this house. It's now in a state of disrepair, and in at most 3 months, it will become a boutique Huizhou-style villa. I will draw lucky fans and come randomly to experience it. Manage food and housing, and pay for your own transportation expenses. Qin Luo still knows the basic traffic password. Firstly, there must be gimmicks. Secondly, it is necessary to provide fans with a sense of participation. Thirdly, occasionally provide benefits or similar benefits. At present, the conditions are limited and we can only do so much. Still that sentence, take your time. The phone ran out of battery, plugged in the power bank. Qin Luo continued to open the live broadcast room, and then went to watch the cooking. In the afternoon, the helpers will come one after another. When repairing a house, it is definitely necessary to manage the workers' meals. In the morning, besides moving things, Uncle also built 2 large stoves on the open space outside the courtyard, one for cooking and the other for stir-frying, which were several sizes smaller than those of rural banquets, making enough to make ends meet. A pot is filled with rice. In the other pot, the uncle is stir-frying vegetables. A simple green vegetable with sliced meat, topped with a layer of bright red chili peppers, is stir-fried over high heat, creating a smoky atmosphere. After finishing the meal, Grandpa patted his cigarette and walked to the live broadcast room. In the local dialect, he said without fear. "Old irons, look at my new house. My ancestors are also landlords. My grandmother needs 2 servant girls to take a shit, and does not have to do it by herself. My great-grandfather, when he was in his 30s, had 13 concubines in his family, 13 concubines. They were all beautiful daughters, as beautiful as flowers and jade." Grandpa boasted in front of the camera. Qin Luo. Silent for a moment. Looking at what he said happily, he didn't stop it, just reminded to remove the cigarette bag from the camera. Smoking is not allowed on the live broadcast screen, as it will be blocked. In the afternoon. The helpers shouted by the 5 uncles have all come, and the excavator has also come. The old courtyard wall was knocked down, and someone was unloading tiles on the roof. After unloading, the roof was also peeled off, and then one by one the walls were peeled off. Qin Luo is busy moving bricks. Some miscellaneous items still need to be picked up by hand. This job doesn't require Grandpa's help, and the old man started chatting with water friends in front of the live broadcast room again. When my great-grandfather died, he buried 3,000 taels of silver and 100 taels of gold underground in his home. If his descendants were unworthy and their assets were depleted, they could still be the capital for a comeback. I've been searching for so many years, but I haven't found it yet. I guess it's still hidden underground. Qin Luo. Old man, you can really boast. I have never heard of this before. Uncle, are you really fake? Qin Luo asked Uncle quietly. Uncle pursed his lips and whispered, your master's mouth is deceiving ghosts. Our ancestors have 18 generations of poor farmers. Qin Luo couldn't help but burst out laughing. However, when I took some time to take a look, I suddenly realized that the number of online viewers in the live broadcast room had exceeded 100. Even someone gave a gift of more than 10 yuan as a reward. 6. My lord. The house has been cleaned for 3 days and is basically flat and clean. Including the 2-story small building of Uncle's house and the old house on the homestead behind it, they have all been leveled out. Qin Luo looked at the large open space in front of him with a strong sense of achievement. He has made a video comparing the front and back of the house and sent it out, accompanied by a simple and emotional copy. The traffic is also decent. Over 20,000 views and over 3,000 likes. And over the past 3 days, my fan base has unexpectedly increased by over 500. Most of them were scammed in by my grandfather. He talks about the past and tells stories, from various interesting rumors in the village to his own life, interesting stories from his youth, as well as some romantic affairs between widows and daughter. In law, most of them are probably bragging. A rich story will have a unique style. However, there are really people willing to listen. Qin Luo is also speechless. The old man is really having fun. The fourth day. The workers called by the uncle began to tidy up the foundation, while Qin Luo pulled out a complete set of design plans and drawings, including a total of 12 parts. They are: Design Overview, Overall Floor Plan Design, Elevations and Sections of Various Parts, Detailed Drawing of Nodes, Fixed Furniture Production Drawings, Electrical Plan, Electrical System Diagram, Water Supply and Drainage Plan, Top View, Inside the Building, Decoration Material List, Construction Plan Node Table. This was gradually improved by taking time out of my own time at night, and I even went to the town specifically to print it out, using color printing. Look at these. Grandpa was first stunned, then laughed uncontrollably and said, "My great-grandson is amazing, and those who have gone to college are different." Uncle Xiaoluo, are you doing this? Is this okay? The experienced senior engineer invited by the uncle said, "Oh no, it's really amazing. Xiaoluo still has the ability. I've seen someone else draw this thing before, but I really can't draw it myself. Just fix it according to this. Hurry up and study it for me." Other workers. This blueprint is really beautiful. The idle neighbor said, "My grass. Bull. Water friend in the live broadcast room. Anchor 6666. Qin Luo explained the plan to the workers with a smile, explained his thoughts clearly, and answered a few of their doubts. These entire processes are recorded by live streaming footage. Finally, Qin Luo said to the live broadcast camera, "Brothers, anyone who wants to build this kind of house also wants to add me V, and the drawings will be provided for free. Even if you don't fix the house, you can use it to post on social media and pretend to be forced. My original design, all rights reserved, the technology is absolutely solid." End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Wooden Carving of Huizhou's 3 Carvings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Wooden Carving of Huizhou's 3 Carvings. The house was demolished. Start rebuilding the foundation. It was already the 5th day, and Qin Luo received a package in the morning. In the village, no other express delivery is available and we need to go to the town to pick it up. However, Qin Luo used JD.com and bought a set of carving knives. The courier drove a van to deliver them to his door. The Huizhou 3 sculptures are an important component of architecture and a unique skill that I have practiced for a long time in the system space. The set of carving knives bought by Qin Luo is divided into 5 pieces, made of manganese steel material. They are 4 flat-headed knives with a diameter of 6.5 mm, 5.5 mm, 4.5 mm, and 3.5 mm, as well as 1 oblique-headed knife with a diameter of 3.5 mm. Today, I will make an unboxing video for everyone. Holding a delivery box, Qin Luo stood in front of the camera in the live broadcast room. In the past 2 days of live streaming, the number of people has stabilized at around 200, fluctuating up and down. But it's not as bleak as when it just started broadcasting. In Anhui architecture, the 3 carvings are the essence. These 3 carvings are wood carvings, brick carvings, and stone carvings. Since it's carving, we need to use a carving knife. In this box, there are 5 knives of different sizes. Qin Luo said as he took out the carving knives and showed them in front of the camera. I bought the one with good quality, exquisite workmanship, and a strong texture. 5 knives, packed in a tool bag with a compartment in the middle, brown wooden handle, black blade, and blunt edges at the tip. Today the workers laid the foundation, and I didn't have much to do. Coincidentally, yesterday we dug out a big tree root. Let's tidy it up. If it's carved well, it'll be placed in my new home. If the carving is smashed, which water enthusiast is interested, I will give it away for free. Qin Luo said. Bullet comments suddenly popped up in the live broadcast room. That's the opposite. Give you a chance to reorganize your language. If you can carve well, give it away. If you can't carve well, keep it for yourself. The anchor has started working hard. How to give it away? Is it a lottery or a top spot? The popularity of comments in the live broadcast room suddenly increased. I now have loyal fans. The design drawings of the previous house were put in the official account by myself. More than 500 people followed the official account, and dozens of them added their own WeChat. Less is less, but they are all active fans. Don't worry, let's carve it out first and take a look. Lest you accuse me of deceiving Krypton. Qin Luo smiled and immediately moved the half-meter square old tree root over, then pulled the water pipe over and washed the surface soil clean. This wood root has an irregular shape and grows in a strange shape, but the material is good, it is old elm wood. At this moment, Qin Luo had a sketch in his mind. He took an axe and first cut down the unusable area, smoothing out the bottom. 4 bricks were placed underneath, and the height was adjusted to fit. Then, he moved a small saddle, tied an apron, and began to work meticulously. Carving while speaking. Our Huizhou 3 sculptures originated in the Song dynasty and reached their peak in the Ming and Qing dynasties, with the evolution of technological roots. In the Ming dynasty, the carving was rough, rustic, and the patterns were simple. Generally, there were only flat carvings and shallow reliefs, which relied on line shapes, but lacked perspective changes and emphasized symmetry. In the Qing dynasty, as Huizhou merchants became wealthier, their carving styles began to evolve, becoming more delicate and complex, emphasizing artistic beauty. With money, they were willing to use materials and also willing to work hard. At this time, deep relief and round carving were more commonly used, advocating for hollow-out effects. Some hollowed-out layers can reach dozens of levels, such as pavilions, towers, and pavilions, trees and mountains, figures and animals, flowers, birds, insects, and fish. These can be concentrated in the same picture, exquisite and translucent, with clear and vivid layers. Qin Luo talked confidently. In the system space, I have worked hard on these things. During the conversation, my hands kept moving. First, use a large carving knife to trim the overall shape of the wood root to a rough and round shape, removing any discordant protrusions and rotten areas, and then continue digging inward. This old root is quite large, with a depth of half a meter. It's a big piece, enough to play with on its own at this time. The number of people in the live broadcast room has not increased much, but there are more and more comments. I'll go. This anchor really understands. Oh, my God, I should have a class in the TikTok studio. Luo Ge, what are you carving? Please give me a spring palace painting. It should be lifelike. Qin Luo didn't even watch the live broadcast room, and now Grandpa also came over and moved a small Mazza, sitting next to him watching. I can't believe my grandson would still do this. Good grandson, what are you carving? Grandpa asked. Qin Luo chuckled and said, you'll know later. Qin Luo temporarily played a trick, but his movements were extremely fast, giving him a beauty that had been honed through countless trials and tribulations. As the sawdust flew, the interior of the tree roots gradually became hollowed out, with some areas being thinned out while others were preserved. The base is the widest. Because we need to consider the actual placement. However, on the top, left, right, and 3 sides, a door shape is gradually carved out. Internally, Qin Luo retained a sense of hierarchy and did not completely empty it out. Above the base, there is a lifelike river that was quickly carved. The harmonious and perfect wavy lines are vividly displayed by the wooden texture, which can be clearly recognized without coloring. The number of people in the live broadcast room is starting to rise, and comments are also increasing, with small gifts emerging. But Qin Luo didn't care at all. Immerse oneself wholeheartedly in one's own carving. Above the river, there was a raised area that he had previously reserved. Qin Luo replaced it with the smallest carving knife and meticulously carved it. After hundreds of cuts, a lifelike carp was formed, with its tail intersecting with the river surface as a fulcrum, but it was handled very smoothly. Carp leaping over the dragon gate. Grandpa grinned. He saw it. Qin Luo smiled and remained silent, yes, but not entirely. You can take another look. Above the fish slope, in the reserved space, Qin Luo began carving clouds. The thin layer of clouds is quickly carved. He flipped the wood over, flipped it over to the back, and began carving the area inside the back. Fortune, wealth, and longevity are 3 stars. This is a type of device that I have repeatedly studied when I was a sugar fan, and I am extremely skilled. In just half an hour, Samsung will take shape. From the perspective of the screen. It was a big carp in a river on the ground, leaping high and vigorously towards the dragon gate above the clouds. Above the clouds, the 3 stars of Fu, Lu, and Shou stood in a triangular position facing each other, with a chessboard in the middle. The 3 stars glanced down at the fish. However, this is not over yet. 3 stars are located in the middle of the root carving, with some space on both sides and in the back. Qin Luo also carved various immortals one after another. A god of wealth with a big belly and a big pot. 2 graceful fairies. 4 small round-headed boys. In the live broadcast room, it has already exploded. It has been 3 hours since Qin Luo started carving, but almost no one has walked in, and more people are coming in. At the same time, the number of online users has exceeded thousands. Qin Luo still didn't watch the live broadcast footage. He carved a medium-sized knife and meticulously crafted Tianmen. On the heavenly gate, there were 3 pre-reserved roots that looked a bit unsightly before, but he did not clean them up. At this moment, we are focusing on dealing with these 3 roots. Wood chips fell one after another, and soon, 3 elusive divine dragons emerged from both sides and directly above the Tianmen gate. The dragons on both sides are coiled around pillars. Above, there is a suddenly looking back type, with almost no dragon body visible, only half of the head visible. Here this work can be considered completely completed. Carps leap over the heavenly gate, blessings, rewards, and longevity are watched by 3 stars, with the support of various immortals and the embellishment of 3 dragons. From top to bottom, from inside to outside, there is a strong sense of hierarchy, and each image is lifelike. When combined, it does not appear complicated, but rather scattered and orderly. From the front, there is both the neatness of the floor plan and the extravagance of the reliefs. Wow! It looks good. This is the emblem carving. How magical! How exquisite! Luo, can you give it to me? Okay. Such a good thing, it definitely can't be delivered. I'll personally drive to pick it up. It's 300 kilometers horizontally and vertically, I'll drive now. Let's have a carnival first, a little respect. A long comment suddenly popped up. A carnival soared into the sky. Qin Luo glanced at it and was also slightly stunned for a moment. This is 3,000 yuan. Is this where the tycoons come to support? The nickname of the top leader on this list is, Come Up and Freeze Yourself, with a level of 55. Qin Luo. It's amazing. I also played live streaming for a while and gained some understanding. This is currently the highest level in the live streaming room, and it would cost me millions to reach this level. I really have money. However, looking at this nickname, it is obvious that one likes to pick up girls. What are you looking at me for when you're flirting with girls? I'm not a girl. Is it necessary to lick Big Brother? However, it seems that Big Brother is looking for girls, so I'm a bit hesitant. Qin Luo hesitated and said. Worried about offending other fans. I don't really want to lick my big brother, and I don't want to ruin my reputation and leave the impression of being selfish. At this point, a comment suddenly caught his attention. This level of craftsmanship, with such a large shape, would be worth at least 5 digits in a craftsmanship store. Big brother on the list has a good idea. Bullying brother Luo doesn't understand his profession, does he? End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Are you testing me with this? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Are you testing me with this? Huh. Is this thing very valuable? Qin Luo knows that craftsmanship is definitely valuable. However, I just started doing it myself and didn't have much fame. Currently, I mainly have an apprentice mentality, thinking that selling this wood carving for a few hundred yuan is wrong. Anyway, the raw materials didn't cost any money, and it only took more than 3 hours. It's just a way to exercise your skills. Draw a prize to give to the fans, and then give it away. But when I saw this comment, I suddenly felt my own technology seems to be very valuable. I have studied design for 4 years in college, gained 3 years of work experience, and accumulated 10 years of skills in system space. He is already considered a quite mature master. I just entered the industry now and don't quite understand the market situation. Luo Ge, I added you v. By the way, your nickname is Flying Bird and Fish. The cat avatar from the comment just now has another comment popping up. Qin Luo looked at WeChat on another phone and indeed saw that a person with the same profile picture and nickname had added him. After a slight hesitation, it was approved. Luo Ge, hello, hehe. I really like your work, but it seems like you're foolish. I'm worried that you might be deceived. This is a girl, and the tone of conversation is also that of a girl. Qin Luo. Who's stupid to say? I'm just not very familiar with the market. The other person quickly replied, aren't you doing this? I see that your skills are already very mature, and you need to have more than 10 years of experience. You're not playing me, are you? Or a script. She replied so. A sudden sense of vigilance seemed to arise in my heart. Nowadays, many short videos and live broadcasts have scripts. Know it. Just to make up a story, attract attention, and then attract fans to pay. This is really not true. I have learned it for a long time, but I have been working in the company for many years and have done design. Now I am back to my hometown. Qin Luo quickly explained. This situation is indeed doubtful. Since you know how to carve and are good at it, you must be an industry person. If you are an industry person, you must have a master, a path, and an understanding of prices. But now, it's quite strange that I know how to do it myself, but I don't know the way or the price. Oh, okay, I believe you. But are you sure you want to give it to Bangi? This thing may really sell for over 10,000 yuan. If you run into a customer who really likes it and find it right, packaging it appropriately may result in a higher selling price. She reminded again. Qin Luo scratched his head. 10,000 yuan, it's not a decimal, it's about 1 month's salary. However, the top-ranked tycoon has already spoken out in the live broadcast room, and with the reminder of birds and fish, if he doesn't give it, he actually has a sense of waiting for a price to sell in the market. You go to man TikTok to inquire. Am I the kind of person who takes advantage of others? I only take advantage of myself and never take advantage of money. I really don't know the price of this thing. I just like it. I want to give it as a birthday gift to an elder. Since it's worth 5 digits, then just brush 10 more. At this point, in the live broadcast room, the top-ranked tycoon suddenly posted several messages in a row, and then a full-screen carnival floated up one after another. He painted 10 more carnivals. Qin Luo. I was speechless for a moment. Scratching his head, he laughed loudly. I couldn't help but send a message to Bird and Fish. Brother Bangyi is angry. This plot seems like you are my child. We discussed the script together. Birds and fish. She is speechless. On second thought, there really is this kind of visual perception. For a moment, I didn't seem to know what to say and didn't reply. Qin Luo smiled and looked at the live broadcast room again. So what, cough cough, Brother Bang is powerful and domineering. Come on, my home address is private message sent to you. There is no spending money in the world. Since Big Brother has spent money, I will keep this item for you. Let me carve another one in the afternoon and draw a prize to give to lucky fans. The shape of the artifact may be smaller, like a character. Support customization. Let's draw a lottery now. Send me photos of the people who want to customize, and I will carve them on site in the afternoon. TSK, I suddenly felt like I could use it to confess my feelings. It's time for male students to compete for character. Qin Luo quickly came up with a new gameplay. Gimmicks are still necessary. Ultimately, it's all about the popularity of the live broadcast room. Although there is no actual monetary cost for raw materials and techniques, one's own technology and time are not cheap. On the contrary, it's quite valuable. Upon hearing the anchor's words, the audience in the live broadcast room immediately became boiling again. There are not many popular anchors now. Although the young anchor is trying to attract popularity, it is understandable. If you really send him a photo of the girl you love, carve it out, and use it as a gift to confess, it would be quite nice. Saving money is not just a matter of heart. Qin Luo set up the lottery link and posted it, and soon saw a surge in the number of lottery participants. You can only participate in the lottery by setting up your own attention. Therefore, the number of fans is also starting to soar. Luo Ge, add me, I'm on the top list. WeChat, Qin Luo received another friend request. This is a portrait of a man, which looks like a scumbag. His hair is permed, silver gray, and his face is delicate. He wears sunglasses and steps on a surfboard while surfing. The background is blue sky and white clouds, with blue waves and silver beaches. The WeChat nickname is Frozen Brother. It looks very coquettish. His nickname in the live broadcast room is also coquettish, come up and freeze yourself, homophonic for driving, invisibly deadly. Qin Luo passed quickly. Hello Big Brother. I'll send you the location. Just come over directly, I'll be at home anytime. Quickly sent him a location. Cold Brother. Okay, I'll drive over now for about 3 hours. Wait for me. Do you have any plans for tonight? If not, let's have a meal together. I'll bring a bottle of good wine over and you can treat me to local cuisine. Is that okay? Qin Luo. Okay, no problem. I envy this kind of life. A physical body that goes as soon as you say, a wallet that goes as soon as you say flowers, all over the world, money opens the way. It's too cool. During lunch. The lottery results are out. To Qin Luo's surprise, the lucky fan turned out to be a girl with a nickname of, That's Your T Sister. This few girls are so domineering and openly recognize T. But it seems that the more I say this, the more I don't know how to T. What surprised Qin Luo even more was that after adding her on WeChat, she sent a photo. Main elements. Sea, beach, flowing long hair, front convex and back curled, white 3-point bikini, slender legs. Although wearing a sunshade hat and sunglasses, the front face is mostly blocked, but it can still be seen that she is definitely a beautiful woman. Especially in terms of body shape, it's almost perfect. From an aesthetic perspective, it is almost 9-headed. Clear waistline, golden ratio of upper and lower body. Qin Luo. Sister, is this really suitable? Are you testing me with this? End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Catalpa Tree. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 6 Catalpa Tree, Sister, is this really good? But in front of all the viewers in the live broadcast room. Looking at her photo, Qin Luo replied with a message from T Sister. T Sister. Is it illegal? Qin Luo. Suddenly speechless. This is naturally not illegal. Before Qin Luo could reply, T Sister came up with another question. What's the point of showing off? Qin Luo. Naturally, there was no leakage. T Sister's third question. Is it beautiful? Qin Luo. The domineering triple questioning made me suddenly enlightened. Aesthetics is art. How can one think of art with evil thoughts? After all, I am not an art student. I have never experienced the grand scene of drawing human models in class. I'm a bit timid. However, if you know your mistake, change it. Diao. Then let's carve this one. See you in the afternoon. Qin Luo immediately replied. Be good, ma'am, said T Sister just now. Qin Luo. This sister is really capable. Wood carving has various materials. There are probably several types that are suitable for making character statues. Purple sandalwood. A precious wood, solid and delicate, suitable for meticulous carving, highly polished and waxed to a black jade color, extremely beautiful. But it's expensive. Ebony. It has a hard texture, a black and textured color, and when placed in water, it sinks and is also expensive. Sandalwood. Gray-yellow in color, tough in texture, finely textured, with a faint aroma, equally expensive. Huali Mu. A specialty of Cheongdao, with light color and slightly loose texture. It is hard and has exquisite and beautiful texture, and is also expensive. Nanmu. The material is fine, dense, and soft, with a combination of gray, brown, and green colors. It has wavy wood patterns and a golden luster, commonly known as Jinsha Temple, and has a rustic beauty. Heavenly price. Huangyangmu. Yellow hardwood with ivory effect, made of tough and dense material, with fine and even texture. After carving, it is highly polished and waxed, making it extremely beautiful. It is most suitable for making finely carved small round figures. These materials have been practiced by myself in the system space and are not unfamiliar, but rather very familiar. Of course, that is just a complete simulation of the characteristics and hardness of wood. Things in the system space cannot be brought to the real world. At this moment, Qin Luo, however, was a bit worried. What kind of wood should be used to carve her? Unlike that root carving, the root carving tool has a larger size and slightly inferior material, which doesn't matter much. It doesn't excel in material. But wood carvings of characters require very delicate carving, ordinary wood really cannot meet the requirements. After much thought, after lunch, Qin Luo got in the car and went to the town to see if there was a timber market. I navigated and there was one. Make a character statue for Lucky Fan T Sister. There is no suitable wood in the village, so I will come to the wood market to take a look. In fact, there are several types that are most suitable for character sculptures, such as rosewood, nanmu, boxwood, etc. However, these are too expensive to afford, and even if you want to buy them, you may not be able to buy them. I've been thinking about it for a while, so I decided to use the flat wood of nanmu and the Chinese parasol wood. This type of wood has a moderate weight and hardness, a ripple-like texture, and is not easily deformed or cracked, making it a relatively high-end wood. However, due to its wide planting range, the market price is not very expensive. Qin Luo said truthfully to the live broadcast room. Park the car and walk towards the wood shop with your phone in hand. This is a quite large courtyard that can already be seen, with various boards placed inside. The sign at the entrance is Lao Si Furniture Factory. It's just an ordinary furniture factory in town. Seeing the barrage in the live broadcast room, someone was asking about Jumu. Qin Luo thought for a moment and then continued his science popularization lecture. The origin of Chinese catalpa trees is in China, with a long history that can be traced back to the glacial period. It is one of the ancient living fossil species. Of course, the ones we use now are all artificially cultivated and have high economic value. There are many records about the Chinese catalpa tree in ancient times. The Book of Songs refers to the Chinese catalpa tree as a chair. The chair of the chair may have been made of this wood by people back then. The Huizhou refers to the Chinese parasol tree as hagi, with a straw-shaped head representing the autumn season. After the Song dynasty, it gradually became known as the Chinese catalpa tree, with the word autumn added to the wooden character, and the pronunciation was the same. There was a book called Paya in the Song dynasty, which was about birds, animals, flowers, trees, fish, and insects. The Chinese catalpa tree was referred to as the king of wood, indicating that at that time, this type of wood had a high status and value. Qin Luo talked confidently. Some people love to hear these things, while others don't. However, speaking it out in the live broadcast room does have a strong sense of pussy. As an anchor, although one must cater to the market, they still need to have their own things, otherwise they have no unique features, and doing live streaming on their own is meaningless. Live streaming is just an auxiliary tool. My main business is still skills. I want to talk about everything related to skills. The process of popularizing science is also a process of washing powder. For these uninterested audiences, once they leave, they don't force themselves. What remains is true love. A barrage of 666 bullets. The number of people online is not small, it still looks like nearly 1,000 people. Qin Luo continued speaking. The stem, skin, leaves, and seeds of the Chinese parasol tree are all medicinal herbs. The tender leaves can be eaten, the flowers can also be stir-fried, and aromatic oils can be extracted. The whole body is full of treasures. In ancient times, many people in the Central Plains, North China, and Northwest China planted Chinese parasol trees, and with this, they can become the owners of the wealthy and wealthy. In ancient times, there was a habit of planting Chinese parasol trees as property, which was passed down to future generations. A 10-year-old tree may be said to be made of this type of wood, but of course, I haven't verified this statement, it's just a guess. In many places nowadays, there is a saying in folk proverbs that 1,000-year-old cypress and 1,000-year-old cedar are not as good as a branch of a Chinese parasol tree. The saying, good by the people is truly good. Han Yu, a poet from the Tang dynasty, also wrote a poem called Ting Lian. The lian tree in his family's courtyard is written in this way. Let me memorize it for everyone. Ting Lian has only 5 branches, coexisting in 10 steps, each with vines winding around it, and each connected by hooks. If you want to read the text, search online for it yourself. Bullet screen. 666666666, Luo Ge is amazing. This knowledge reserve is exhausted. Building houses, carving, selecting wood, historical origins, memorizing poetry. Play back this live broadcast and show it to my son after school. I suddenly feel that Luo Ge is very handsome. His facial shape has a bit of classical beauty. If he were to wear a traditional costume again. Luo Ge, I sell hanfu here. If you need to contact me, I will give you the cost price. Qin Luo saw this and smiled. Soft advertising. Edge advertising. Forget it. The hanfu category is somewhat related to oneself. At this point, he had already entered the wood factory. A burly boss walked out. Qin Luo chatted with him for a while. He does have catalpa trees here. I went to the warehouse and selected 2 pieces of material suitable for making character statues. Qin Luo then paid and left. In the live broadcast footage, there was not much money mentioned. Then I went to the printing shop again and printed out the photo of T sister. Waiting to return to the village. After rearranging the tripod and phone, Qin Luo finally displayed the large photo. Brothers, this is the photo that T sister sent me, asking me to carve according to this one. I said it's not appropriate, right? T sister said, why not? Is it illegal? Is it a bit revealing? Isn't it beautiful? The domineering 3 questions confused me. Haha, then let's carve it. Hey, T sister is so beautiful, it's really disturbing my heart. Alright, stop talking, brothers, watch the work. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. The Charm of Art. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. The Charm of Art. Under the camera, Qin Luo first dealt with this piece of catalpa wood. The shape is not large, about 15 centimeters high and 8 centimeters wide, with a thickness and width similar. Of course, there is still a lot to be removed during the carving process. Grandpa walked over first. Who is this girl? Xiao Luo, isn't she a girlfriend? If we were our own daughter.in.law, we wouldn't want to show it to others like this. Grandpa said in a complex tone. I feel both beautiful and worried about this girl. Qin Luo smiled and said, Master, hurry up and go. They are so beautiful, I can't catch them even if I want to. T's sister is currently in the live broadcast room and has even given a few hundred yuan as a reward. Qin Luo is worried that her grandfather's words may cause her to misunderstand. Elderly people, that's all the way of thinking. Hey, that's true. Let's marry a wife, don't marry someone so beautiful. Ugly wife's family treasure. Qin Luo. I was speechless for a moment, just dealing with the wood in my hand. I took a moment to take a look at the comments section. Many water enthusiasts are teasing T's sister. However, T's sister didn't seem to be angry either, typing and chatting with a few people. Some people, in the comments section of their live broadcast room, openly provoked T's sister. Some even asked directly, whether to make an appointment or not. Qin Luo's eyebrows furrowed slightly. To be fair, using this kind of photo to carve by T's sister is indeed easy to be perceived as coquettish and open to criticism. Of course, she herself doesn't know what kind of person she is. After thinking about it, Qin Luo shifted the topic while carving. Although this is a modern photo, when carving it, one can still use the ancient technique of carving a lady. In ancient folk carving, there were various forms of graceful women, such as wandering in spring, offering tea, leaning on the railing, playing the horizontal flute, dancing cranes, playing go, playing the flute, and so on. Qin Luo spoke calmly. But someone started driving. Qin Luo. A silent smile. MMP. When it comes to this, you all feel energized, right? But what I just said was a serious musical instrument. Don't interrupt, I'll keep talking. The secret to beautiful women in traditional sculpture consists of 26 words. Crescent eyebrows, oval face, cherry lips, apricot eyes, willow waist, shaved shoulders, slender hands, and slow gait. Everyone can imagine. Qin Luo's 26-word secret was revealed, and the comments section of the live broadcast room was once again filled with joy. The ancients were really good at describing it. There's a picture now. Brothers, that's all for today's live broadcast. See you on the browser. Qin Luo. Okay. Beauty is the traffic password, and now the number of people in the live broadcast room is running towards 2,500 people. T's sister's photos are indispensable. But online is like this, where there are beautiful women, there must be LSP. Learn to adapt yourself. Qin Luo continued to speak on his own. Ancient ladies, whether in painting or carving, had a typical feature of tying their hair in a bun. There are several types of hair buns. Single ring high bun, double spring high bun, flying big bun, butterfly bun, double hanging bun, falling horse bun, bun, and so on. In this photo, Sister Cha's hairstyle is shawl length, but I'm planning to make some magic changes and change it to a bun. It will look much better for carving. Well, it's confirmed. Let's take a look at the finished double ring high bun. Qin Luo kept carving knives in his hand, first carving out the prototype of a double ring high bun. Then start moving your body. Besides the bun, there is also posture. Actually, you can search for relevant pictures. Craftsmen have really studied the handling of maidservants' postures to the extreme, with various awkward shapes that look better each time. After all, in ancient times, there was no P diagram, and artistic creation was at the forefront of aesthetics. The standing posture of the maid has already begun to show an S-shaped curve, highlighting the female body's softness and fullness. The head is slightly crooked, slightly bent, and the upper and lower body sections are slightly twisted. One hand is bent forward, either supporting the cheeks or holding a fan, and the other hand is placed behind the waist. One is up and down, one is in front and one is back, and the feet alternate in front and back, opposite to the hands, in a broken step shape. Similar to the model's pose, you can imagine that scene. The lines are beautiful and the curves have a strong sense of rhythm, which can vividly express a charming and graceful posture. Qin Luo spoke, wielding a large knife and axe to cut and trim on the wood, and soon carved out the prototype of his body again. Then, he began to finely carve. As the sawdust flew, the graceful figure began to appear. My own eyes are rulers, carved according to the photo of Sister T. Although they are different in size, the proportions are almost the same, with slight optimization. Brothers. I feel that way now. Damn it. I suddenly have a crush on this wooden carving. T sister. Sister, is sister there? Sister, please take a look at me. T sister quickly replied, get lost. At this moment, Qin Luo had already entered a state of emotional flow and had not watched the live broadcast room. He had not seen the number of people online in his own live broadcast room, which had already exceeded 5,000, nor did he see various small gifts emerging one after another. He was completely immersed in the carving. The figure has already taken shape, almost perfect, even revealing a temptation, which is the expressive power of art and craftsmanship. Although the material is wood, it seems to have a divine presence. For the treatment of the bikini, Qin Luo also made some modifications, transforming it into a Chinese-style belly pocket, and adding some ribbon shapes to make the overall look more elegant and complex, not too thin. After the complete restoration of his figure, Qin Luo began to change his face and hairstyle. This is of utmost importance. And compared to ordinary wood carvings of ladies, it will be more difficult. Because it was carved directly from the photo. After patiently observing T sister's appearance for a few minutes, Qin Luo had already accurately grasped the position of her 3 courtyards and 5 eyes. These are coordinate points. As long as you grasp these coordinate points well, there will be basically no errors. He changed to the smallest size of the carving knife, bit by bit cutting, decorating the lines, and refining his facial features and hairstyle. This carving lasted for almost 2 hours. Until fully formed. Qin Luo finally breathed a long sigh of relief, stretched lazily, shook off the sawdust from his body, stood up with a wooden carving, and carefully rubbed the uneven surface with sandpaper. At this moment, the live broadcast room has completely exploded. Ah ah ah. I feel like I'm molesting my goddess. Don't rub it with sandpaper, she'll hurt. This is too beautiful, isn't it? For the first time, I feel that traditional skills are so exquisite. The combination of classical and modern is so great. This is no more fragrant than handmade figurines. Brother Luo, do they also want it? How about carving one for them? After polishing everything smooth, Qin Luo displayed the entire wooden carving at 360 degrees in front of the camera. Underfoot. It is a wavy base that draws inspiration from the style of a lotus platform, but it is not as high as the lotus platform and is similar to waves. Bare feet, slender legs with graceful curves, one in front and one behind, extending upwards. At the crotch position, there is a short skirt with a delicate waistline and graceful hips, leaning forward slightly in a seductive posture. Going further up, there is a smooth lower abdomen and chest pocket. Although they have not been painted yet, they are just wooden textures, but they are lifelike and charming. Finally, there is the face shape and hairstyle, exquisite facial features, combined with a slightly dignified double ring hairstyle, which perfectly neutralizes the desire generated by the body. A dignified and charming, sexy and holy contrast fills the entire woodcarving with artistic tension. On the screen, a carnival rose up in the sky, sent by T sister. It's so beautiful. Ah, Xiaoluo. Are you missing a girlfriend? Sister can do it. Grandpa entrusted me with persuasion. Qin Luo. The comment section was even more sensational. The message prompt on another phone kept ringing, and Qin Luo took it out and glanced at it, realizing that more than 100 friends had already applied. Taking a casual glance at the application list, it seems that most of them are little sisters based on their avatars and nicknames. This is probably the charm of art. Qin Luo silently thought to himself. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Worry-free media. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Worry-free media. T-Lady, can you give me an address? I'll send you the things by express delivery. Still the same sentence, take your time and don't worry. Do one thing at a time. Qin Luo didn't rush to add new fans, but first finished processing the statue of T-sister. Although she said that in the live broadcast room, Qin Luo didn't think that people would really be interested in her. There are too many talkative comments online. Just now, perhaps the atmosphere was so heightened. T-sister. Send me your address and I will personally go and pick it up. It's a good time to meet you. Qin Luo. Sister, are you trying to deliver from 1,000 miles? In my village, everything is inconvenient and the house has just been demolished, so there's no place to entertain you. The nearest hotel is still in town, 20 kilometers away. However, the hotel conditions are very poor, so you may not be used to staying there. If you go to the city, it will be even further away, and you will have to drive for at least an hour and a half. Qin Luo sent 3 messages in a row. There is still a slight resistance to this kind of thing at present. I am a serious person. Of course, it's not that you don't like beautiful women. However, T-sister's style is too aggressive, and she is likely unable to resist it. T-sister. Did I ask you to entertain me? Have you ever heard of something called a RV? Ma Luyu, quickly post the location. Qin Luo. Silent. Bite your teeth and still send her a location. Do these people not have to work? Are everyone so idle? Where does the source of income come from? T-sister. Hey. I navigated and the distance is quite close. It's less than 700 kilometers. Let's wait for pick.up. It's 3 days later. Qin Luo. Oh. Then I'll wait for you. Coincidentally, I'll polish it in the next few days. Do you like coloring? Wood carving can be colored. It can make the color more vibrant. Some colored paints and pigments also have special anti-corrosion, moth and insect-resistant effects. Originally, if the express delivery was sent out, this process would be waived by oneself. But since they came 700 miles away, Qin Luo still felt that he should do more. Then make the wood carving perfect. T-sister. I don't like coloring, I like coloring. Qin Luo. Sister, I'm still a child. T-sister. Yes, it just looks like you're tender. Sister likes to eat tender grass. Seeing the conversation topic getting increasingly outrageous, Qin Luo ignored her and just let out a deep sigh. Hey! A large Land Rover roared into the village, attracting the attention of several old men sunbathing at the entrance. The car window was rolled down. The co-pilot is a very beautiful girl, while the driver is a handsome young man. Grandpa, is this Jinzhong village? Excuse me, where is Qin Luo's house? It's the one that just got up. Can you take us there? The girl and the co-pilot smiled and asked. An old man pointed to the village and said, "Here's a pack of cigarettes, I'll show you the way." The young man driving was stunned for a moment, but couldn't help but shake his head and smile. He shifted to P gear, took out 3 packs of Chinese cigarettes from the storage box, opened the car door, and got off the car. He handed out 1 pack to each of the 3 old men at the village entrance. It seems to have a very respectful and caring attitude towards the elderly and young. Mainly because someone said it out loud. If the old man were to lead the way directly, he probably wouldn't get off the car, let alone smoke. 3 elderly people benefited and all stood up. One of them was a bit restless and stumbling, while the other 2 were leading the way together. After walking through the main road in the village, getting on a broken road, and turning into an alley, we arrived at Qin Luo's house. Thank you, sir. The young man parked the car and explained to the girl in the passenger seat, "Wait a moment, you'll have some eye contact. Don't be so naughty with me." The girl pursed her shiny lips, which had been painted with lipstick, and let out a sigh. "Got it." The 2 quickly walked towards Qin Luo. "Luo Ge, hey. I'm Lin Dong, come up and freeze that by yourself, Oh, this is my local friend, Zhou Xiaoting. Just call her Tingting." Lin Dong shook hands with Qin Luo with a smile and introduced himself, appearing very enthusiastic. This kind of enthusiasm even made Qin Luo feel a sense of insecurity. Damn it. Be attentive to nothing, neither treacherous nor thief. He's not trying to mess with me, is he? However, thinking of the 11 carnivals that wealthy Dong Gu had previously posted in the live broadcast room, Qin Luo shook his head and smiled. Not at all. It shouldn't be. So much cost. What is there worth deceiving about oneself? Where's the thing? Take it out and show it to me. Oh, this object, I've been nagging all the way. Luo Ge's craftsmanship is so amazing. I have followed many anchors, but your skills are the most exquisite. What else are you? Your style is comparable to handmade craftsmanship. Lin Dong smiled impatiently and handed Qin Luo a cigarette. Qin Luo hesitated for a moment before taking it. He doesn't really like smoking. But it will also. Mainly because I used to stay up late to work, which was used to refresh my mind. I can't remember it in my daily life, so I can avoid smoking. Qin Luo didn't light a cigarette, smiled, and went to bring over the carved large root sculpture. Lin Dong and Zhou Xiaoting immediately gathered around to watch, marveling in amazement. Good thing. What a great thing. The elderly at home must love it. Luo Ge, you have been a big help to me. Let's go eat something. I brought all the wine, have you chosen the restaurant? If not, let Xiaoting lead the way, she's also familiar with it. Lin Dong boasted for a while, then moved the root carving into his large trunk and casually took out 2 bottles of Maotai, inviting him with a smile. Qin Luo nodded. Let me arrange it. Wait a moment, let me explain to Grandpa. Returning to the house, Qin Luo explained to his grandfather. After thinking for a moment, he drove his pickup truck and prepared to lead the way ahead. Luo Ge, are you driving too? Why don't you just take my car? I'll send you back later. Lin Dong shouted out. Qin Luo originally thought that it would be inconvenient for him to ride in his car when a man and a woman came together. However, since he said so, it's not impossible. Anyway, I have to drink some alcohol tonight and there's no need to drive myself. So he opened the car door and walked towards his car. What surprised Qin Luo even more was Lin Dong actually drove Zhou Xiaoting, the co-pilot, to the back seat and asked her to sit in the back seat, allowing himself to sit in the co-pilot seat. This Nima, the emphasis is particularly excessive. It's scary. Doubts arise in the heart. Qin Luo got into the car, got in the passenger seat, and waited until the car drove out of the village. After chatting a few words, he smiled and inquired about his background. Dong, what kind of business do you do? It looks like a successful person. Lin Dong waved his hand and smiled, hey, you're not a successful person. You're just making a living. I worked as a media agent and opened an MCN agency called Woolly Media in the provincial capital. We also have our branch here. Have you heard of it? Qin Luo. Worry-free media. What kind of loser's name is this? I have heard of worry-free media before. Qin Luo said in a somewhat awkward tone. In the Grand Guild, there are millions of beautiful anchors, and worry-free media accounts for half. Lin Dong couldn't help but laugh out loud. Hey, there's no way to compare, no way to compare. I'm just trying to gain popularity with a sign, but it doesn't really matter. However, our development is also good. Currently, we have over 200 anchors under our umbrella. Luo Ge probably doesn't have a guild at the moment, right? Listen to him say. Qin Luo's heart was completely relieved. I finally understand what he is doing. MCN organization. Is this liking oneself? But I've only been live streaming for a few days now, and I don't even have enough followers. Professional, does this show my potential? End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Accompanying Luo Ge. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 9. Accompanying Luo Ge. There's no guild, I just started playing. Hey, I'm just playing around. Qin Luo glanced at him calmly and said with a smile. These people are really willing to sacrifice their lives. I haven't even determined if I have a guild yet, and before I even skimmed my 8 characters, 10 carnivals were smashed out. Money opens the way. Which anchor can withstand such temptation? You're not just playing around. Nowadays, this kind of primitive live streaming is the trend. We have just cultivated one, 3 months ago, and the account has started. Now, live streaming sales, with an average income of over 300,000 yuan per night. This is just a little anchor. You should have heard of that one a while ago, the girl who killed sheep. Although she has gone bankrupt now, she has only a few months of followers, with just over 6 million. During her peak period, she spent one night promoting her products and is sure to reach millions. Lin Dong spoke with great precision. This is really not bragging, but rather a reliable fact. How about young people squeezing their heads and drilling towards this line? As long as it gets popular, it can quickly soar to the pinnacle of life in a short period of time. Of course, the premise of fire is that there must be a lot of work to do. Qin Luo, on the other hand, has a handsome appearance and is skilled in his skills. He has a great talent for speaking and has a wide range of knowledge. If this were a package, it would get up quickly. Lin Dong believes in his professional judgment. After all, I have been in this industry for almost 5 years, and there are not 100 or even dozens of popular anchors. Qin Luo. Silence fell for a moment. Heart palpitations are definitely heart palpitations. Who doesn't want to get rich? However, everything comes at a cost. Immersing oneself in traditional skills can make one's heart extremely calm. Making money is still secondary. Qin Luo was afraid that if he really wanted to hang out with them, immerse himself in these fame and fortune markets, indulge in extravagance and ruin his own skills. Diligence leads to diligence, and idleness leads to leisure. Lin Dong saw Qin Luo fall silent and didn't respond, so he wasn't in a hurry either. He has a high emotional intelligence and didn't urge him. He just changed the topic and said with a smile, "Hey, look at me. What other jobs are we talking about at this time? What are we eating? Luo Ge, please tell me your location. Qin Luo glanced at him and said, let's go eat hot pot. There's a hot pot restaurant in the city that's quite good. Can you eat spicy food? Okay, no problem, that would be great. Lin Dong immediately nodded and agreed, handing his phone to Qin Luo and asking him to help input the navigation location. Follow the navigation route. After some thought, Lin Dong made another phone call. Hello, your name is Meng Meng, Shishir, and Ziyu. Don't live stream tonight, take a leave and come over for dinner. I'll send you the location. He speaks with a boss-like demeanor, his tone is very direct and quite domineering. After speaking, hang up the phone directly. Qin Luo. Looking at him with a moment of silence. Hee, eating hot pot, it's lively and crowded. I'll call 3 beautiful women over, don't you mind, Luo Ge? Qin Luo. Do I still mind if you shout? It's okay, come on. But in my heart, I feel even more outrageous. Is this the life of a wealthy person? What's going on? Do you have to be fed after eating? I still need a beautiful woman to accompany me. It's really impressive. However, thinking about these things makes my heart somewhat sour. Having money really allows one to do as one pleases. Luo Ge, on my way here, I watched your live broadcast. Your maid carving is really worth watching. Can you carve one for me too? I can appear in person, model for you, and just stand there for you to sculpt. Rear row. Zhou Shouting suddenly spoke with a smile, her coquettish and cute tone carrying a hint of temptation. Qin Luo turned around and glanced at her. Just wanted to say something. Lin Dong, however, had already taken the initiative to speak up. Are you asking Luo Ge to carve a private house for you? Ah. Ha ha ha. But I think it's also possible, Luo Ge. He raised his eyebrows towards Qin Luo, with a teasing expression on his face. Zhou Shouting coquettishly said in the back seat, oh my. What a private room. It's just a normal carving. However, if Luo Ge wants to carve a private room, I can do it too. Qin Luo. The corners of the mouth twitched slightly. I just feel out of place with this atmosphere. Damn it, isn't this your girlfriend? Let me carve a private room for you. Thank you for coming up with it. Lin Dong seemed to see Qin Luo's thoughts and said with a smile, Shouting is also a live streamer, with quite a few fans. She mainly works in COS. Hey, Luo Ge, you also know that beautiful women are traffic passwords. Private rooms are not private rooms. Let's still look at it from an artistic perspective. Shouting is actually a very simple girl, just a little girl, stinky and beautiful. Qin Luo nodded. But in my heart, I can't help roast. Is this called simplicity? You look innocent. It's not impossible either, let's talk about it later. Qin Luo didn't say anything and casually agreed. Zhou Shouting immediately said, then let's add a WeChat account, okay? I'll scan you. As she spoke, she took out her phone and confronted Qin Luo with her QR code. Qin Luo let out a slight sigh in his heart, took out his phone, and added her WeChat. At this point, Qin Luo changed his perspective and immediately understood. The current situation is equivalent to being like a customer, who is the object of attraction. Zhou Shouting, along with the other 3 female anchors who were also called out, what cute, poetic, and Ziyu, they are all beautiful public relations. Their goal is to completely conquer themselves. To put it simply, I still value my own craftsmanship and the commercial value hidden behind it. TSK. Absolutely. Lin Dong really has a set of skills in business. Ordinary people find it difficult to resist this temptation. Luo Ge, I'll send you some photos for you to take a look at first. After Zhou Shouting added Qin Luo's WeChat friend, she immediately smiled and said, then sent 5 or 6 photos in a row. It's all her image when she was working as a coser. Don't say it, she really has something. Her face shape belongs to the pure and sweet type, her eyes are also very clean, she is quite tall, her figure is not very prominent, even a bit flat, but her skin is particularly fair, milk-like, very suitable for the youthful and childish, fairy-like character. For example, Japanese girls wearing sailor suits. For example, an elf archer wearing an elf suit and holding a bow and arrow. And the rabbit girl with white stockings. The photos I sent all have this style. Pure and lustful. Luo Ge, can we take a look at your favorite picture? Just help me carve one. Zhou Xiaoting began to act coquettishly and plead again. At the same time, Qin Luo saw the transfer of 5,000 yuan sent by her in the chat box of WeChat, on which she wrote, "Thank you, brother Luo. My grass. Is she also so wealthy? I really don't treat money as money at all. With one move, it's 5,000. Luo Ge, you should collect it quickly. I have already sent you the deposit. You are not allowed to stand me up, otherwise I will cry." Zhou Xiaoting urged. Qin Luo let out a long sigh in his heart, clicked, and received the transfer. "I have a lot of work on hand now, you may have to schedule it, but I will definitely do it for you before my house is repaired." Zhou Xiaoting smiled and readily agreed, it's okay, it's okay. I'll wait for you for a long time. If you forget, I'll go to the live broadcast room every day to urge you. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Wisdom in World Affairs and Wisdom in Human Relationships. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Wisdom in World Affairs and Wisdom in Human Relationships. When Lin Dong's car arrived at the hot pot restaurant, he found that there were already 4 people waiting at the door. 1 man and 3 women. A man in a suit and leather shoes looks like a social elite in his 30s. The 3 girls are all young and beautiful, dressed very fashionably, but they are all wearing hats and masks, probably afraid of being recognized. "Mr. Lin, you're here. I have reserved all the private rooms for you. Please come in quickly." This man must look bigger than Lin Dong, but his posture is particularly humble, with a licking dog feeling when facing the leader. Lin Dong glanced at him, but his face was a bit unpleasant and he didn't speak. He was slightly stunned for a moment, with a bright smile on his face. "Mr. Lin, I'm currently in a meeting at the company. I heard that you were calling for someone to eat, so I quickly sent the 3 of them over. I have to go back to the company. Sorry for the inconvenience. Excuse me." He said hello to Zhou Xiaoting and Qin Luo respectively, then hurriedly left and boarded the BMW 5 Series that he had parked at the store entrance. Lin Dong turned around and said to him, "Drive slowly and pay attention to safety. See you at the office tomorrow noon." "Hey, okay, Mr. Lin." He smiled and waved his hand, watching several people enter the restaurant before starting the car and leaving. Qin Luo saw this scene throughout the entire process. For a moment, I felt that Lin Dong was quite domineering, not even allowing his subordinates to eat together. I guess. Are you worried about yourself, mind? It's really unnecessary. However, I don't say much about other people's family matters. To be honest, I really don't like this kind of business banquet-like occasion. Although I have been working for 3 years, most of them are technical otaku, with 2 years, and I am too lazy to even attend the company's annual meeting. Not to mention being treated like this. A few people entered the private room of the hot pot restaurant, and Lin Dong finally regained his bright smile. The 3 female anchors also took off their hats and masks. Lin Dong introduced each with a smile. Meng, the new anchor signed by the company last year, had average conditions, but they were competitive enough. They broadcasted for more than 12 hours a day without taking a break during the Chinese New Year. Now, there are 200,000 to 300,000 in a month. Poetry, classical beauty, proficient in guzheng, piano, guitar, all very talented, big anchor, ha ha ha, isn't that right, Shiji? Lin Dong smiled and joked with her, even calling her sister. Shusher angrily glanced at him and said, "Don't call me sister. I'm not as big as you, and I've called everyone old. Qin Luo, do you still know me?" As she spoke, she suddenly looked at Qin Luo and uttered a sentence. Qin Luo. I was immediately stunned. I carefully looked at her. Her features were delicate and beautiful, with a typical melon seed face, double eyelids, a raised nose bridge, and a faint beauty mole on the left eyebrow, making her a very beautiful person. However, after searching my heart out, how could I not remember that I knew her? Hee, are you really forgetful of important people? Am I just so lacking in presence in class? Class 1.45 of Grade 1, Zhang Shusher. She pretended to be a bit angry and asked, but there was also a hint of coquettishness in her words. Qin Luo was in a daze for a moment and suddenly remembered. It's her. In the first year of high school, there was indeed such a female classmate. However, at that time, she wore school uniforms every day, and she still wore glasses. Her disheveled face was completely different from her current glamorous appearance. Who can recognize him? Cough. Ha ha ha, I remember. I was divided into classes in my sophomore year, ha ha ha. Qin Luo gave a slightly awkward explanation. Lin Dong smiled and said, "So you two were classmates in high school. That's really a coincidence. But you can't blame Qin Luo, Sister Shi. This woman has changed 18 years. Who can recognize you? You are so beautiful now. If I were your classmate in high school, I could not recognize you when I walked on the street. Who the hell thought it was? Don't be beaten out by bodyguards." Upon hearing him say so, Zhang Shusher couldn't help but burst out laughing. This may sound exaggerated, but it's really comfortable and pleasant to hear. Qin Luo looked at the two and for a moment couldn't help but give Lin Dong a high glance. This person has really high emotional intelligence and can speak. There is a reason why one can achieve such great success in their career. Not the kind of annoying wealthy nouveau riche. Oh, by the way, there's also Ziyu. Ziyu mainly deals with sales, especially product selection. She's a masterpiece, my goddess of wealth. This is definitely a top-notch expert in the field of product selection in the country. If Luo Ge wants to do sales in the future, he can ask Ziyu to help you advise. Lin Dong finally introduced. Ziyu smiled lightly and said, "Brother Dong has praised me too much." Qin Luo glanced at her with a thought in his heart. This girl, although not the most beautiful among the three, can even be said to be the least good-looking, is a skilled product selection who can help people make big money. Lin Dong's final introduction to her clearly means valuing her. The pot is already boiling. All kinds of dishes are served. Lin Dong also opened the wine. Seeing the Mao Tai he was holding, the four girls didn't mind and each collapsed. Come on, it's fate to get together today. Let's start with one. This glass of wine is for Luo Ge first. I was in his live broadcast room, but I was completely shocked. Luo Ge's talent, skills, and character are definitely top-notch. Later, I'll show you the wooden carving that Luo Ge gave me. It's so big, with more than 10 characters, including carp leaping over the dragon gate, 3 stars of happiness, wealth and longevity, fairy prince, fairy child, dragon king in Tianmen. It's lifelike. There's no second one in TikTok. Lin Dong has already blown Qin Luo into the sky. Zhang Shusher and the others, who had never known about this before, suddenly heard various compliments. Qin Luo. To be honest, it was a bit ethereal for a while. Is this the value of art? To be honest, I am not very clear about its market value. But it seems that Lin Dong and the others have already been extremely recognized and firmly believe that they will definitely become popular. Eating. Drinking. The atmosphere quickly became lively. Lin Dong had already consumed a small half-pound and his face turned red. Taking advantage of the alcohol, we started to get to the point. Luo Ge, I sincerely hope that we can work together, earn money together, and share money together. Although Shushu is my employee, she is also your classmate. You can ask her, I have never mistreated anyone when it comes to sharing money. If I eat a bite of meat, you will eat it. Moreover, I will never let my anchors do things they don't like. They all know it. Jiang Shushu laughed and said, that's right. He's generous with his money, straightforward, has high emotional intelligence, and looks handsome. He's just too extravagant. Faced with such an evaluation, Lin Dong smiled proudly and said, so what can I do? I don't have any hidden rules, it's all their initiative to seduce me. Qin Luo glanced at him. I am still rational and clear-headed now. Mr. Lin, I understand what you mean, but I don't have any plans to sign a company at the moment, he said softly. I'm a lazy person with no big ambitions, just a craftsman. However, we can still collaborate in the future. As you can see, there are actually quite a few people willing to pay for traditional skills in terms of traffic and works. When my villa is built, I plan to turn it into a base that enriches traditional cultural elements. Qin Luo said calmly. The division is very clear. Live streaming is just a means of promotion, but not an end in itself. Good idea. I'm very optimistic. Haha, a popular check that I spot. A workshop for craftsmen. The farm of the Huanom brothers. Li Ziqi's small courtyard. Great. It's okay, make friends. Let's make friends first. Once we get along well with friends, business will naturally start. Come on, Luo Ge, take a walk. After hearing Qin Luo finish speaking, Lin Dong was slightly surprised and quickly smiled and said. End of this chapter.